Hey everybody. I'm gonna stream on my own channel today because I don't really have a lot of time to stream, and I don't really want to take a lot of time to make a proper thumbnail and title and everything for the video like I normally do for Free Code Camp. So I'm just gonna code a little bit. Today's been not a bad day, but I was up early getting ready for my meetings, the presentation, and I guess the presentation went well. It wasn't spectacular, but the reaction was pretty positive. So just got a little drained from all the effort of getting ready for presentations, sitting in meetings and things. So it's just going to be kind of low key. I'm not really gonna do a lot of commentary, just mostly code. But if you have a question, put it in the live chat. I'll do my best to keep an eye on it and answer some questions. Or if you see me doing something in the code that looks crazy, let me know. I definitely make mistakes frequently, so I would appreciate any help. Let me get this set up. I wanted to put a link on Twitter in case anybody was interested, but I'm doing the stream a little bit differently. So I need to figure out where the link is for this. Oh, there we are. There's the link. It's just at the bottom of the page. Okay, so let me put this out there on Twitter. Okay. Alright, so the tweet went out, and I'm going to get some music going. Let's see. Alright, so here's what I need to work on. I'm just kind of introduce it, and then I'm going to get to it, and I'll make this a bit bigger so you all can see what I'm working on. So right now I really need to work on this server.js file. So it's working really well, except there's one use case that's just not working for me. So maybe I need to make some adjustments here, and you could check this out on GitHub if you like. It's I guess I could put the link. Let me put the link in the live chat for you all. Hey John, how's it going? John says I'm talking more than being quiet. Good to watch anyhow. Yeah, I was talking at the beginning here. I'm gonna be quiet and do some work. Alright. So here's the problem. When I go to use this route, so when user types in at the end of the URL student life, so it'd be like .edu/student life. I want them, if there's nothing else after student life, to just go to the page that has student life info. But if they type in like student life slash I don't know, like academic organizations, then they should go to the academic organizations page. So right now what I have happening is they can just go to student life, but they can't go to anywhere like beyond that. So I think I have data ready for a calendar page, and I can't get it to work. If I take this line out, it works for like the secondary pages, but not for the main page. So I need a way to make it work for both. Let's see. So I don't know how entertaining this is going to be for anybody watching, but this is what I really want to get finished today. Let's see. Alright, here's where most of this is happening. Okay, I have an idea. So right now it's checking to make sure that there is an ID, and it's checking to see if there's an ID default. If there is an ID default, if that exists, then it's just automatically setting the ID to default. That's not what we want. Instead, what we want is if the ID is let's see. What we need to have happen is something like yeah, so we want to see if an ID came through in the URL, and if that's the case, then we'll probably use, if that happens, then we'll do something here. Otherwise, we'll move on to the default. Essentially, I guess we'll set the ID to that. So ID will equal, and we'll have to figure out what we can put in here. Rec params type. See, we won't even need to look in the translation object really. Where do we need to look? Just ID. Let's see. John, yeah, you're right. It should be else if. Okay, so I need to grab this ID. So let's go rec params ID. Okay, there we go. So if there's an ID, actually it should be if an ID exists, but not on the translation objects. Alright, so we can keep it like this. First things first, if there's an ID on the translation object, we move on to the next thing. Then we want to check to see if so if an ID exists, then we're going to set ID we're going to set the ID here, else, and that'll be an else if. Else if. So if the ID doesn't exist, then it'll go down and say, alright, well, let's see if there's a default. And if so, let's use that default. Alright, let's save it and see if it works. Okay. Here's my site. I'll bring this over so y'all can see it as well. So, first things first, we didn't crash anything on the server. It's still working. But first, let's go to that student life page. Student life. Alright, great. That works. So that route still works, which is great. Now let's try that calendar. I know I have data for calendar. No, it still didn't work. Okay. Let's do a little more troubleshooting here. Okay. I do want to see, let's do this. Let's console log that params ID. We'll console log that, and let's go with ID. So that way we'll know what it is if there's a lot in the console. And then let's try again, and we'll try to get this. We'll try to see if anything's coming through for this. That's weird. We should be getting something somewhere. There we are. ID undefined. Okay, that's what we expected. Calendar. Now we should hopefully get something. Alright, it's not even... It must not even be getting to that point in the page, in the code. Alright, let's try it out. John says the switch statement might work better. Yeah, it might. I really don't want to get into... If I'm going to go to a switch, I may as well change everything. I don't want to get into that now just because I don't have enough time to do that before I'm going to leave today. And so that's not something that I really want to like get halfway through and leave to the next day. I'd rather be able to focus on that and get it done all at once. But let's check it out. So something must be happening earlier And so let's see. So we have this ID up here. Oh, okay. You know what? Actually, this should... Let's get rid of what's been done. I think we went down too far to begin with. Oops. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. So we go down the type. I'm just going to kind of run through the logic here for myself and for you all. Hey, Alexander, how's it going? Yeah, let me run through the logic and just talk it out. I think that'll be helpful, at least for me. Alright, so first we get the URL, and we're checking for a few things. Good. Alright, so if we have a type, then we're going to go through these statements. So if the type, if there is a type, then we just grab that type right away and then add pages to the end. And this is to handle some weirdness going on with the API, so that's fine. And then if the translation object, which is up here, has a type attribute, subject. Oh, okay, so if the translation attribute has that particular type that's coming in, then we'll check to see if it has a type attribute on it. So in our case, we're trying to figure out the student life stuff, so yes, we do have a type attribute, so it should go on. So we go on to the next one, and the type is then being set as whatever we had in the type attribute. Okay, good. So we shouldn't go to else. It should go right to type. So now we drop down and we check the ID. So if there is an ID, we go into here. So if that translation object has a key of ID, then we'll go to the next statement, and that would be true. We do have an ID. So then if the translation object ID matches up with the parameter ID, then we're going to make the ID that params ID. I see. I see what's going on here. Okay, so what we would currently, the way this is set up, we could make this work, but I think I'd rather like to I'd like to do it another way. So let's just try it first to see if I'm reading this all right. So we'll say ID calendar. No, it shouldn't be. So the ID is going to be an object. Calendar. Calendar. We don't really need that here. So if we did something like this, alright, that should work. Let's save that and see if it works. Yep, that works. Okay. And as you can see, this calendar page needs some work because this extends beyond the page. So we'll see, like, I mean, on mobile, that's not going to work. There's got to be some way to do a embedded Google Calendar on mobile. I haven't really looked into it yet, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, now let's check and see if this still works on the student life page too. Great, that works. Alright, so that's a solution, but it's not a great solution, because then for every interior page we have to set we have to put another key value pair into this ID object, and that's no good. I don't want to do that. What I want to happen is that the ID simply gets passed in, so whatever ID we have in the URL just gets passed through. So let's try to make that happen. So we got to this point. So if there's an ID key, right, on that object, we then want to check and basically do what we were going to do down here, but we want to do it up there. So probably should not have just gotten rid of all that code, but it's okay. I think I can remember what we did. So then we want to do another if. And yeah, this can probably be cleaned up from all these ifs, but right now I just need to get as much working as I can for these presentations that I have to give. And then we can refactor afterwards. Because we'll see, the launch date's probably going to get pushed back, so that'll give us more time. I have mixed feelings about that. I really wanted to get it finished when I said I was going to get it finished, but having extra time is going to be nice. I wasn't really looking forward to having to stay up late for the last like 2 weeks of building this. Alright, so if rec params ID, if that exists, then we're going to make the ID equal params ID, and then else if we're going to drop down then, and we're going to check to see if there's anything in here. And this is still useful to have, because we may need to set different values for the key and the value here. So that'll allow us to have a lot of leeway in what we do with the URLs. We're trying to match up URLs from an old site and keep them the same for the new site, so something like this will be very useful for that. But for now, let's take this out and see if we get the same result. Alright, so we save that, and first we can reload this. Alright, great. So the calendar still works. And student life still works. Excellent. Excellent. Alright. Cool. I see some more comments in the live chat. Let me check this out. I'm really happy I got that solved so quickly. I wasn't sure whether it was going to be more difficult or not. Oh yeah, John says that Google Calendar inside an iframe is a bit troublesome dealing with the CSS. I've been there. Yeah, that's... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But it's... Yeah, things like that are always a little difficult. I'm just really hoping that Google has something built in that maybe we can use, that'll just work. It'll be mobile friendly. And Desarrollo says regards from Ecuador. Awesome, welcome. And all right, cool. So this is awesome. I'm so glad this works. I kind of want to click around though and just make sure it works and it didn't accidentally break something else. What am I doing? I'm getting some errors here. Link URL prop on a DOM element. Here's a DOM custom attribute spelled lowercase link URL. Oh, okay. Looks like I'm passing some props that I didn't mean to. Okay, cool. Which one should work? Does this one work? Nice. I don't even think I've checked this page yet. This is kind of cool. We're getting to the point where pages are just like coming in automatically, and not all of them, but some of them are just coming in automatically, and that's the idea. We want as much of this as possible to just work without having to do anything manually. And there's that error again, huh? That link URL on the list item text. Okay. Well, I'll deal with that in a second. It's just a warning. It's not really an error, so we'll be all right. Yeah, but I think now's a great time to commit this. I think I just removed some stuff that I didn't need from the index, so I'm not even gonna mention that in the commit message. It was just some like I don't know, just like test content. So I'm not gonna worry about that. We'll do a git add. NCM. I don't want to call this a fix because I think the router was working exactly as intended according to how it was made. So this is, I think, a new feature for the router. Because Niki actually made that. So if you come into the other live streams on Free Code Camp, you might know Rook from the live chat. So Rook's name is Niki. So Niki made that, and I think it was according to how he wanted it to go. Let's see, new feature. Let's just go with this change. Let's see. All right, so that's done. That's awesome. Code works, and now it's on GitHub. All right, let's see. See what else we need to do. I need to change the logo. It's not really exciting, but my boss wants this logo changed, but only on a widescreen. But you know what? I'm not sure if I have a better version. Excuse me. I don't know that I have a good version that I want that matches up. So maybe I won't do that now. Let's fix that error that was coming up though. Let's go to our I guess I don't have it up. Alright, app bar. Layout. I think this is what we want. This item.link URL. I'm passing that in as the href. Okay, and then I'm putting I don't know why I have this on the list item as an attribute. Yeah, that definitely should not be in there. I think that's where the error is coming from. Let's save it and see if we get the error again. So let's bring up the console. Link unknown props found class name. Alright, now we have a different error. Profile card. Alright, let's check that error out. Profile card. And we have a link. Profile link. No. Browse profile card at 58. Alright, well we're not directly putting a class name on link. I suppose it's happening with MaterialUI. Is this? Well, I'm not really sure where that's getting added on there. So I guess we're just gonna have to live with that warning for now. We can take this feature off. I don't really want that feature anyway, the autoplay. And we're adding that in on the index page right here. I'll take the autoplay off, and oops, it's not what I wanted. I need to get rid of it in both places. I'll save that. Just double check things. Okay. Oh. Alright, so we can commit another fix here. Bug fix. Is that how you spell that? Is unnecessary have two N's or not? I'm definitely going to Google this. Unnecessary. It has two N's. Cool. I was right. Unnecessary. Prop. Yeah, that's pretty much what was done. Nope. What about this error we keep getting here? Oh, this is the same one. Okay. Didn't I get something? I thought somebody sent me something that corrected that error, but I guess not. I just can't remember and can't find it. It's cool, that works. Let's sorry, I had a notification. I was just checking out. Let's take a look at. I just really want to see what the buttons would look like if we tried some different styles. So the head of my department, I don't think is very happy with how this looks. So I'll try to do a little bit to make it nicer. I'm not exactly sure what she wants. I wasn't aware of how much she dislikes how it looks until the presentation. So I didn't have anybody else at the meeting say anything, but we'll see. And I mean, I may not be able to get it to a point where she's entirely happy, you know, because we got to make even design decisions need to be made more toward with the audience in mind, and not, not with, anybody working here, because ultimately the audience is going to be high school students, or at least for now. We'll try to do what we can. Let's check this color out. If we went with the white here, white's, I guess, okay. We could go with the background color of transparent, and we could do a border of 2 pixels, and we'll make it white solid. And we could do something like that. Not with that hover though. I didn't realize we had a pink hover until now though, so that's good to know. We could go with something like this. I don't know. I know there's not a whole lot of people watching, but if anybody's watching and you have an opinion on that, let me know. With the buttons like this, I think it shows whatever's behind it a lot more. You can't tell that much here, but especially when you get it down to a mobile view, these buttons cover up a good portion of this image. So this wouldn't block the image as much. Does it de-emphasize the call to action buttons too much though? If we get a really nice looking image here, I'm okay with this. We're definitely going to need to darken this. So I did darken the image a bit from where we had it yesterday. Actually, no, you all didn't see the new image yesterday. I put that in later. I had to darken the image so that you could read the font. I think I might keep it like this. We're going to get rid of the box shadow though. So if we're going to have the flat button, I think the box shadow looks silly on a transparent button. I mean, to me, it's like if a button is transparent, it wouldn't make the same shadow as a button that is opaque, right? Alright, John likes it, says the text could be a bit bigger. Yeah, I do want to work with the text. I think the button text should be bigger, but then also this text here should be bigger. I may have to, the way that the component that I'm using does this, is it this component or not? No, I'm thinking of a different one. Actually, I can do something about this. So I can definitely make that bigger. I think the spacing's a little weird too between each section here. Yeah, let's switch it up. Let's change it to that. And I'd like to do the same thing with this button, except use green text and a green border. All right, let's do that. That may end up being the last thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here in about 15 minutes. I'm gonna finish up and go home. So this will be probably the last thing that we get done. These buttons, and then maybe we could do this button too while all this CSS is fresh. So I'll just copy this and we'll make it a class right here in our index.js file. Hero button. Oh, you know what? We already have a hero button class. Let's make sure where that class is being applied before we use that class. So button. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't exactly want that. We want the class to be applied on the actual buttons. So let's do that then. Let's take our button here and raise style. I'm going to select multiple buttons here, and we're going to do class name and classes dot, and let's call this inverted button. I don't know where I first saw that term, or if I thought that up on my own or not. I really don't remember, but in any case, I always refer to this as an inverted button, like that style that we were just using. So that's what I'm going to call it. We'll try to have some sort of organization here. So let's make, inverted button. We're going to make this an object. So this will look weird if you don't know React, but this is one way to do styles in React. We're putting all the styles into a JavaScript object. And I'm going to paste this in, and we need to change a little bit. We need to camel case instead of hyphenating. Shadow. And then we need to get rid of these semicolons, and we need to, I shouldn't have put quotes around that part. We need to put quotation marks around everything that's not purely a number. And we need to add commas instead of semicolons. There we are. The indentation will happen automatically on save, so don't have to worry about that. Let's see if those changes took. Wonderful. All right. Okay, now let's do the same thing with this button then. And let me check. Yeah, we got enough time for this. Let's see, John's saying the okay, we could do a text shadow on the button just for contrast from the image. Okay, yeah, we'll we could definitely put that on if we need it. I think we're gonna do, I don't think that my department head likes this image at all, so I'm gonna switch it out. So I'm not gonna do anything for, you know, in terms of trying to make things readable with this image, because I think it's gone. It's out. I mean, I don't mind this image. It's nice, but it's tough for fonts because you go from almost pure white here to dark green, you know, right next to each other. And there are a few garbage cans in the shot, and you know, this kind of looks a little bit dirty. This needs washed. I think this whole side of that building. That's our chapel on campus. So anyway, there are elements of this picture that definitely need work. I'm sure we could Photoshop it, but I don't have the time or desire to do any Photoshop right now. Okay. So let's take, you know what, let me just grab this whole thing and let's use it in our app bar. Now I know duplicating things like this is not ideal, so maybe when we refactor we'll fix that. But for now, I'm just going to use it. I think our button lives in this component, that top button. So here's our icons, our SVG icons. There we are. And there's our button. Let's see. XSFUS. Yep, that's it. Okay, great. Let's put our class name here. Class name equals classes dot inverted button. So this inverted button is going to be different. So yeah, at some point that definitely needs cleaned up a bit. Let's see where we're at. Wonder where I can put this. Yeah, after the SVGs, that's a good spot. Simply because in terms of the flow of the page, that's where it goes. So I'm going to say inverted button, and let's paste this in. Whoops. Alright, let's just paste the whole thing in here. There we go. Get rid of that. Now we want the color to be green, so we're going to do 412112A, or maybe is it 2141 2A? That's it. That's the green we want. The background color transparent, and then we're going to also use the same green here for that. So let's save and see what happens. Alright, cool. So we have our button here. Now the hover is not working properly. But yeah, I guess I'm okay with that. I think I would rather have this button be like more of a thin, like low profile button. So I may decrease the padding, and I'd like to have more space in between here. But for now, I wouldn't call it complete because of the hover thing. Same thing down here, but I think I want to finish things up here and just commit this. Otherwise, I have a tendency to stay late and keep working when I shouldn't. So I'd already be past I have a certain amount of hours I'm supposed to work every day, and I frequently go past that. And it's not fair to my family, so I'm going to try to hold myself to leaving on time today. And I think I saw somebody outside of my office, so if somebody needs to talk to me before I leave, I definitely need to stop now. But anyway, let me commit this, and then we'll end things. Git add RNCM feature there we are. So that'll do its thing. And while I'm waiting for that, I'll just do my ending thing here. So thanks for everybody for watching. I had kind of a nice little relaxed session here. I should be back tomorrow. I don't have any meetings scheduled, so I'll be back on Free Code Camp. We'll do a proper stream and try to get as much done as we can. The project's starting to come together pretty well. I think I'm at the point where I really would like to start testing some of my ideas for servers, you know, like the whole architecture of how we're going to do load balancing and things. And I'd like to try something new with trying to load balance between multiple WordPress installations and multiple databases. So I don't think it's that smart if I'm going to have all these different React installations but pull all the data from one database. Well, what if something happens to the database? Then all that redundancy that I built in for the React servers is not going to mean anything. So that's a new area. I've never even attempted that before. I've just recently been researching, so that'll be cool. Be able to do something new, you know, together. So I'll do as much of that on the stream as I can. But that'll all probably happen maybe end of next week or the week after. We'll be working more on UI stuff for the next, probably for the next week. Oh well. Good stream. Thanks everybody for being here, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.